Hi. In the first episode of More to Me, I'm in conversation with Haimanti Sarkar, who lives in Hyderabad. Haimanti has a very interesting journey. After almost a decade and a half of conventional career, she decided to hang up her boots and do something very different. She decided to help children from economically challenged families to flourish and prosper and give them the advantage they were not born with. So, stay with me as I chat with her and find out about her amazing journey and the stupendous success that the children have achieved in 10 years of being with her.
I was actually working with the product development companies. I have worked in the designing of interfaces, typically which you call UX. So that was my specialization. I also had another specialization where I was working with product companies where they had to go through certifications of processes. Somewhere I was leading teams and moving upwards. At some point, sitting into the critical board meeting sort of a thing in different cities, and looking at what we were working on, we realized while I had this opportunity to lead some of the CSR initiatives from the corporates, but somewhere that long-term intervention was missing. So, we had traveled some 90 kilometers, 100 kilometers to go to a village, went into their small primary healthcare place, and we had taken doctors with us and all the medicines and things like that. But somehow I always felt that I was not satisfied doing any of those interventions, because to me it was like, okay, today they get us, next month we are not coming back. I don't know if any other company is coming back, but somewhere I felt that I would be happier if I can do something which is much more long lasting. And most of the improvements in social sector needs time. And thankfully, me and Arijit, my husband, so we spoke about it at great length for a couple of years. We happened to see quite a few models where we went to Pune, and then we found something called a center called Bal Bhavan. It was an initiative that was run by one of the organizations in Maharashtra, where community hall model, you build up a community hall in a slum area, in a village or a remote village, and you get all the kids to come in there of all age group. Like you have a community, there are kids who are below 5, there are kids who are between 5 to 10 and above 15. So all the kids come in at different time slots. There are activities planned for them. They're engaging themselves there. They're keeping themselves busy. So when I was thinking, back, saying that exactly that's what we do with our kids at home. We try to give them as many exposure as possible. There were so many discussions we used to have at home. We always do, all of us. So when you look at a child studying in a government school in India, the best case scenario there is they have a well-running school with all teachers with a more or less appropriate student-teacher ratio, and they have clean water, sanitation, and they have their necessary books and textbooks and stationery, and they have a midday meal, and that's about it. So tomorrow, when they come out of the 12th and then degree, or even forget about degree, just come out of the 12th, and then you are going for an interview to get into a good college. What chance do the kids have if they're pitted against my daughters? Because they would not have the necessary exposure to speak what they want to do. Then we said, okay, let's take a bite-sized approach and say, okay, we'll do a little bit. We'll do 100 students. We'll take 100 students and groom them up next few years and see if they become capable of absorbing more. At some point, they would be just the learners who need to be, moving forward by themselves. We don't need to really spoon feed them for years and years, but it takes time. It will definitely not happen in 2-3 years, is what we realized. Especially we were not coming in as a school replacement of a school. We were thinking of ourselves as a piece which fits into the jigsaw puzzle perfectly along with the state board syllabus that the students were following. When I was also working with the diversity inclusion in the councils, DIC councils, so worked with a lot of women employees and mid-level, project leads and mid-level leaders, women leaders whom we were trying to bring them up, groom them. I also realized that there were a lot of people, not only women, a lot of people wanted to make a difference to their environment in the sense, the contribution to a child was coming very naturally to them. They would like to sponsor, they would like to bring in some, nice food and do a birthday celebration in an orphanage and multiple things like that. Eventually, every child saw something in it for him. They picked up. Some kids were not interested, still not interested in academics. But we know that they have a spark in their eyes if there is a visual art class, if it's a sports class. So they found their area. We offered a lot of stuff. We offer academics. We offer a lot of co-curricular initiatives. There is something for everyone.
So, Haimanti, just take me through as to how did you structure the course?
2015 when we started. Before that, we had almost 2 years of field study. We were going around and checking what needs to be done, where is a gap, and where we would have our first batch of students. So Film Nagar in Hyderabad is one of the most affluent, poshest area where you have a lot of movie actors and many affluent families who stay there. And in Film Nagar itself, next to this affluency, there is the biggest slum as well. That is the location we picked. So when we started with a very fun summer camp, summer of 2015. And when we started the classes, we said that we would work on their elementary math, basic science, because we were only looking at kids who were in 3rd, 4th grade. We just started with those 40 kids from this age group of primary. And so as we observed, we put a small, simple goals for ourselves, saying that while we work on their math, the basic operations and logical, analytical ability, we would just keep a simple goal that when a child is crossing over from 5th grade to the mid-school, they should be able to read a small paragraph, write a small paragraph. The whole syllabus that we have today, it has taken us many years to evolve. Every half yearly, we look back. We have a group of volunteers who are teaching math, group of volunteers who are teaching English and science, all mutually exclusive. So these groups, they come together, they actually figure out better ways of teaching and then they incorporate. So there are content owners who have worked on content creation for many years. So we have 6 of them who have taken it on themselves, and every year, twice, they have revamped the syllabus. Somewhere when we were in 2022, we realized that it is best for us to create every center, every location where we are. We created one room where we can use a portable projector and a tab. And with that, what happened, any partnership that we have done with already existing content aggregators, we could plug and play in the classroom. So that gave us a good edge because students really liked it.
So now tell me, just take me through, because in 10 years, you obviously, have made quite a bit of a difference, a huge difference. So how has what are the markers telling you the kids, how have they changed, evolved? Take me through that.
Yeah, okay. So when we started, we were shocked to see that the kids who were struggling to read were all getting A and A plus in school. So that a big question mark came on the assessment that they were going through every year. So we created our own assessment, beginning of year and mid of the year assessment that we created a framework. So we are seeing last 5 years, we are seeing a steady improvement of almost 33% compared to where they were 5 years ago in terms of their analytical skills and reading skills. Actually, reading skills are almost 50% improved. In terms of their overall confidence and everything, like ability to take part in so many things, that there is no, it's a subjective thing, no measurement as such, but they are winning a lot of more tournaments in sports and competitions of national level, sometimes visual art competitions, international competitions. We send their entries, they're winning, they're actually winning. So there are students whom we trained in swimming. First they got selected by the sailing coaches because we have a sailing club in Hyderabad, and there's a gentleman named Suhaim Sheikh who runs this for lesser privileged kids. He trains them for free. So some of our kids got selected, then we trained them in swimming, and then they are there and they are already in sub-junior nationals. 2 years flat, started to win in the nationals levels. So things like that, we didn't ever plan. We never planned. But as we moved forward, as we found talent, we figured out what is the best way to accelerate this child's growth. And that's how we made partnerships. The interesting story was that initially when we started, our objective of the organization said that we will support them till class 10. And the first batch hit class 10, and that was 2020 summer. It was the COVID year. So 2 months I waited. I saw that these kids were not getting admissions. No colleges were starting. They were just sitting at home. Their 11th grade was just not starting. Then we really panicked. We thought that, okay, 5 years of our intervention, I think they're just going to sit there and either become a dropout, or by the time they go into a college, they would lose their overall interest and whatever we have groomed them, however we have groomed them. So that pushed us. We started the 11th grader training online, teaching online. That's how suddenly we expanded, saying first batch, we are supporting 11th grade also. We never thought we would do that. COVID situation continued. They came into 12th grade. We continued to teach them in 12th grade. Many of them didn't have a gadget, so we bought tabs and phones, the small, Lenovo ones, and we gave them, and we went ahead. 2 years, that same batch of 2020 class 10, in the year 2025, the previous year, completed the 3-year degree. That was the first cohort. 15 of them have come out. All of them have crossed over degree successfully with proper good grades. 3 of them have joined Wipro. 1 has joined ICICI. 2 have joined this accounting companies. And 1 of them has joined ICFI.
With that, we come to the end of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please keep your eyes on this space for more conversations of More to Me. We have lots of interesting guests coming up. And do follow us on Instagram and on YouTube. The handle is preserve.u. And till the next time, bye.